Let's jump right into this explainer with a seriously high-energy quote from Dr. Vivek Bindra. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to become great. I mean, it literally hits the nail on the head, right? So often we just sit around waiting for the absolute perfect moment, or a ton of funding, or for greatness to just magically zap us before we take a single step. But actually, the math of success works in total reverse. Greatness, that's the result of starting, not the prerequisite.
So welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking the gritty, unglamorous, and hyper-disciplined habits that actually build billionaires, drawing on some incredible insights from Dr. Bindra. And look, we're not just talking about massive bank accounts here. We're talking about building serious mental and intellectual horsepower. We're going to look at the daily frameworks that take totally ordinary actions and turn them into those mind-blowing, compounding results.
To give you a quick roadmap for today, we're going to cover 6 core themes: starting for success, action and deep focus, valuing time and money, courage to take risks, health and continuous learning, and we'll wrap it all up with the 1% better rule.
All right, let's move right into Section 1, starting for success. Dr. Bindra makes a fantastic point here. Highly successful people absolutely do not sit around hoping for good luck. Instead, they live by this principle called ACT. Action changes things. They are relentless problem solvers. The real secret, they have this massive, sweeping vision in their heads, sure, but they meticulously couple it with super small, immediate actions. Think about someone like Dhirubhai Ambani. The guy didn't start with a massive global energy empire. No way. He started out right on the street, selling snacks like bhajia. It's all about taking action right this second, exactly where you are, with whatever you happen to have in your pockets. You really don't need the whole empire to start. You just need that very first step.
Okay, Section 2. Action and deep focus. This is where execution gets laser sharp. This next story is kinda wild. When Elon Musk was a kid, his focus was so intense, so all-consuming, that his parents actually took him to a doctor because they genuinely thought he was deaf. They even had a medical procedure done to remove his adenoids. But as it turned out, his hearing was totally fine. It was just that when he was deep in thought or lost in a book, his brain would completely shut out the rest of the world. It's like a superpower. True billionaire focus literally means tuning out all external noise. When they zoom in on something, every sense aligns to that one point, leaving absolute zero room for distraction.
So, how do we harness that kind of focus? Well, highly successful people use something called Parkinson's Law. Basically, it states that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. Just think about it for a second. If you give yourself a whole month to finish a project, it's going to drag out, get way overcomplicated, and take exactly 1 month. But if you force yourself to do that exact same project in just 7 days, you'll magically find a way to get it done in 7 days. The takeaway is super clear. Setting strict deadlines completely kills time wasting and forces extreme productivity. Cut your timeline in half and watch your focus multiply.
Moving on to Section 3, valuing time and money. It's all about how you manage your resources.
Let's talk about protecting your time first. Warren Buffett uses this brilliant framework called the MCD principle. Every single day, he throws his tasks into 3 buckets: must do, can do, and don't do. Now that don't do list, that is arguably the most crucial one. It's all about aggressively throwing out nonsense and distractions. Couple that with tricks like Elon Musk's legendary 5-minute meeting rule, where he simply refuses to let a meeting drag on, and you see how successful people ruthlessly defend their schedules. Look at your own to-do list right now. If you don't actively filter out the don't do's, your schedule is absolutely going to control you.
Now, what about money? There's this amazing contrast between spending to boost your ego versus having grounded financial values. Take the famous story of Bill Gates and his daughter. She was eating out and left this massive $500 tip at a restaurant. Fast forward, Bill Gates eats at that exact same table and leaves a totally normal $5 tip. The waiter is understandably confused and asks about the huge difference. Gates just smiled and said, "Well, she's the daughter of a billionaire, but I'm just the son of a schoolmaster." Wealth isn't about tossing cash around to impress strangers. It's about staying deeply anchored to the fundamental value of every single dollar.
We see an incredibly similar lesson from philanthropist Sudha Murthy. When her son wanted a 50,000 rupee budget for this lavish 5-star hotel birthday party, she completely shut that down. Instead of funding an ego trip, she took that exact money and paid for their driver's education. She told her son to just go celebrate with his friends over some simple samosas and a drink. It perfectly enforces a golden rule. Do not waste money on things that don't actually contribute to your ultimate success, your core values, or your community.
All right, Section 4, courage to take risks, making those calculated big bets.
$40 million. Now, that wasn't just some corporate budget. That was literally Elon Musk's final remaining fortune during a terrifying do-or-die moment in his career. Both SpaceX and Tesla were failing. Every financial advisor, every industry expert told him, look, if you split that money, you're guaranteeing both companies die. You have to pick just one. But he didn't. He took that final $40 million and courageously split it right down the middle between SpaceX and Tesla. He flat out refused to play it safe. He took a massive calculated risk on his overarching vision and, well, we all know it, saved them both from bankruptcy.
Having that kind of high-stakes conviction really pays off. When Walt Disney wanted to make Snow White a fully animated feature film, pretty much everyone in Hollywood told him to stick to the cheap, proven animated shorts like Mickey Mouse. They literally called the project Disney's Folly. But Disney poured $1.5 million into it during the Great Depression. That was an insane amount of money back then. He even mortgaged his own house to finance it. And the result? A staggering $8 million return. It's all about having the raw guts to see the bigger picture when absolutely everyone else is screaming at you to play it safe.
Let's jump into Section 5, Health and Continuous Learning, sharpening the saw, so to speak. Dr. Bindra notes something fascinating. These titans treat their physical health like a high-stakes business partnership. If you cheat on it, it's not going to last. And their routines are remarkably uniform. They prioritize 7 to 8 hours of sleep to guarantee top-tier decision-making. They schedule their hardest, highest IQ meetings right in the morning when their brains are the sharpest. And they absolutely commit to daily physical workouts. Whether it's Jeff Bezos flying around with a personal trainer or Tim Cook grinding it out in the gym at 4 a.m., physical discipline is 100% non-negotiable.
And that physical discipline fuels their mental fitness. Honestly, continuous self-learning is the ultimate line in the sand between an ordinary life and an extraordinary one. Warren Buffett absorbs up to 500 pages a day. Bill Gates systematically plows through 50 books a year. Mark Zuckerberg tackles a new book every single week. Dr. Bindra makes a stellar point about this. Formal education is what helps you make a living, but continuous self-learning is what actually makes you successful. Your brain is a complex machine. If you aren't actively sharpening it with new ideas, it's just going to rust.
Bringing us to our final section, Section 6, the 1% Better Rule. Dr. Bindra talks about his training program with this intensely aggressive promise. He says, "We will grind you." That phrase perfectly captures his core philosophy of relentless, mandatory self-improvement, which he calls NNB, Next, New, Better. It's an intense way to look at personal growth, right? The basic idea is that comfort is the ultimate enemy of progress. You have to consistently force yourself out of your comfort zone, pushing those physical and mental boundaries every single day so you don't stagnate.
3,800%. Now, I know that sounds like some crazy motivational exaggeration, but it's actually a mathematical certainty. So how on earth do you improve by 3,800% in just 1 year? It looks like an impossible mountain to climb when you just look at the whole number.
Well, you do it by breaking it down to the smallest possible metric. Getting just 1% better every single day yields a massive 3,800% improvement over the course of a single year. If you just read one extra page, or make one extra phone call, or push just a little bit harder on one task, that 1% compounds daily. The truth is, success is the product of daily, compounded habits. It's not about random bursts of intense motivation followed by total burnout. You don't become a billionaire overnight. You get there through thousands of tiny, highly disciplined choices made over a lifetime.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one big question. Which of these habits are you going to adopt today? Are you going to start aggressively filtering your schedule with a must-do, can-do, don't-do method? Maybe you'll pick up a new book this week. Or are you finally going to stop waiting for perfect luck and just take action on that idea you've been putting off? Because knowing these secrets, that's just the beginning. The real question is, what are you going to put into action first?